Hello everyone and welcome back to another Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. review. Today we're taking a look at Season 7, Episode 7, and right off the bat, I'm going to pat myself on the back because I called it. I totally called it. There was a short circuit reference in this episode. I think that's... I mean, judging by the design of the robots, it wasn't that far-fetched for there to be a reference. But the fact that I called it, I feel pretty good about that. Also, sorry about the voice sounding a little funny. I've got a big old sore on my tongue this week, so I'm going to probably keep this one short as well because it hurts like the dickens. So sorry about the voice sounding odd, but I needed to get this review out, and I wasn't going to take a week off. I was going to get this review done for you guys. So yeah, so this episode, very, very interesting. It was kind of a tribute to all things 80s, which was very humorous because in one way it was paying tribute to old 80s horror movies. It's like, there's that cricket guy and his girlfriend. They were the first ones to go. They got axed off pretty quick. They were the expendable characters. All the big blood splatter, very over-the-top 80s style, very funny. A little bit of, a little bit of weird science in there as well, with the fact that there's the guy in his garage building the robot girlfriend. Obviously not as realistic as the robot they built in Weird Science, but still, you can kind of see the parallels there. And then that poor guy, that was, he served his purpose in the plot, but it's like, man, did he get the short end he got a raw deal on that one. He's just a lonely little nerd in his garage. I honestly, I was kind of surprised they axed him off when they did. I thought that he was going to help them assault the base or something, and it's like, oh, I'm going to get revenge for all those who didn't like me during high school, blah, 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 or something like that, and he was going to try to get revenge on that jock that he never talked to in high school or something like that. But nope, that didn't happen. He just, Cam from Bones just axed him off. So that's something I haven't brought up in any of these reviews yet, which I find surprising, was that the lady playing Sybil had a major role on Bones, which was a procedural kind of detective show that ran for something like 12 years back in the day. Ended several years ago at this point, but it's all on Amazon Prime or something like that. So a couple years back, my family and I went through and binged that like crazy. So it was cool to see her show up, and it's like, familiar face in a different role. So that was fun. So it's cool that she's getting to do all this kind of sci-fi stuff. Yeah, and she played. That character on Bones had her ups and downs, but she was still a good person at the end of the day. Maybe a little stringent on the rules, but she was still a good person. So, so for her to now be playing this villain, it's fun because she actually makes a good villain. She's actually kind of creepy with how sweet she seems. Kind of talking to the nerd. It's like, oh, I think we're going to make quite a great pair and everything. It's like, she has this calm demeanor to her, which makes her actually a little bit scary. So she was a good choice for this. I wonder what direct inspiration that they may have taken from Endgame, because Mack secluding himself in that S.H.I.E.L.D. safe house, building his cars, growing out his beard, it feels very Thor from Endgame. So I wonder if there was a direct inspiration from that, or if that's just kind of a coincidence, because these things are produced at different times. So was Endgame even in a finished state to where the creators were able to see it before they wrote this season or something? I don't know, but it does feel very Thor. The parallels are definitely there. Mack may have gone into a depressed state and grown out the beard and was chugging beer down and stuff and building those cars, but he still kept himself in shape. He didn't true. He didn't spend as long in self-isolation woe is me solitude like Thor did. Granted, he had Korg and Meek, but Thor spent 5 years doing that, where Mack only had like a year and a half, something like that. But he kept in relatively good shape. He didn't have the big belly or anything. He was able to wreck robots with the best of them pretty easily. He didn't need to do push-ups or anything. There was not a training montage or anything. It was just straight off to the races. There was a gearing up montage, but there was not a there was not a training montage getting him back into shape. And that's another thing that, and it's like I don't, we had a gearing up montage, which is very 80s, and then we had the zoom in on the handshake, which I feel like is a reference to Predator, the original Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think that's what that was a reference to. I don't know, but that was pretty funny. Also, my parents loved the Deke Shaw 80s cover band before 80s cover band were a thing. Bit from the episode. I'm surprised they just did all of "Don't You Forget About Me." They just played that entire song. I'm really surprised they got away with that. I figured that they wouldn't be able to do that because of licensing or something like that. I guess it's a pretty easy song to get the rights to license out. So that was fun. I mean, it sounded pretty good. And like, I was almost wondering if Deke was lip syncing. It was like, I wonder if they're going to release a single cover of that on iTunes or Google Play or something like that. It's like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Don't You Forget About Me, sung by Deke Shaw or something like that. That would be funny. So yeah, this was, in terms of the rest of the cast, this was a very rest of the cast light episode. This is, the name of the episode is, The Adventures of Mack and Deke, but we only got like little cameos from Simmons, Yo-Yo, and May at the very end. There was no Daisy and no Sousa this episode, and then Coulson wasn't really in it that much either, so he was stuck on TV. So it'll be interesting. Well, I suppose May was at the beginning as well, and because this was Deke is telling the story, and so the whole episode is really kind of a flashback, and then we catch up to the present type story. So I suppose May had a little bit more to do in the episode, but it was, it was kind of interesting just to have this kind of like buddy adventure, which is also very 80s. So. Yeah, it was, and then of course we had our new 80s S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. We had our kind of crew of quote unquote experts and stuff. It's funny that they were picked more for their musical skills than they were for their spy skills, with the exception of that Ukrainian lady or whatever. It's like, why are you using live explosives? That was funny. So yeah, and then of course the robots were all kind of different references to different robots and different robotic foes from different fiction. One of them said exterminate, so it's like, oh, the voice is deep, but that's very Dalek. It's like I'm getting big Dalek vibes from that. There was that one that I guess the only thing it was programmed to say is, could you help me? I'm lost. It's like, I'm not sure that's a direct reference to anything, but I thought that was funny. It's like, it's trying to do the, it's like if you were a shape-shifting alien, you might be a little kid or something, like, excuse me, sir, I'm lost, and then turn into a monster and eat some of it. No, it's just a robot, plain and simple, not fooling anyone. The only reason it got Cricket and his girlfriend is because they were idiots. It's like, if I were at that base and a random robot shows up, it's like, would you help me? I'm lost. And it's like, hey guys, we got killer robots on the loose. Can we get some Uzis in here or something so we can shoot at these guys? And this is a problem. I would not have fallen for that for an instant. It's like, well, Deke hasn't said anything about having robots on base, so this is probably an issue. And so I would have been out of there really quick. So yeah, overall fun episode. Very very 80s. It had a lot of fun. I loved the opening title card where it was the type old computer text on screen. I'm loving the stylized intros that they do with each and every episode. I wonder if we get back to present day, if then we finally get the classic Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. logo from the first 3 seasons. That would be fun if we... Because we haven't really had... I mean, of course, it's shown up at the end when Coulson does the "We'll return in a moment" voiceover. But we haven't had, like, the classic, just, season 1 through 3 Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. logo in a while, because last season it was a little different. I can't exactly remember what it was. Season 5, of course, was the very futuristic, we're in space one. And then season 4, it's like each little different arc had a different one, because the Ghost Rider one was all flamey. Then, of course, there was the Framework, which was all Hydra-y. And then the last one was a little different as well. And of course, seasons 1 through 3 kind of kept the same thing the entire time. Except, season 1, when, Hydra was revealed, and then it cut to the, "We'll return in a moment," and then it was the Hydra logo instead of the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo. That was so awesome. I loved that back in the day, so... Yeah, fun, really, really fun episode. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to see how things go next week. We're still hanging out with Malik number 3. I can't remember his name. It's like Henry Malik or something like that. Because he was just, up until this season, he was just the brother that got killed by Hive. So, interesting to see. It's been a couple of years since he experimented on Daisy and had the building dropped on him. So it's going to be interesting to see if he has powers, or if that was kind of a one-time thing that got flushed out of his system, and now he's trying to get more powers or something. So it'll be interesting to see what he plays into, how he plays into the next episode. Obviously, he and Sybil are now going to be a team. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for this review. A little shorter than usual, but again, like I said, I've got this mouth sore. It's not pleasant to talk, and so, yeah, just kind of getting it out of the way. Next week, hopefully I'll have a little bit more to say. Fun episode overall. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.